Brian Webb's swerving his bike round the potholes in the crumbling road leading to their cottage when he sees the police car parked out front. His legs go weak and he stumbles to a stop, twisting his feet to detach the cleats, ending perhaps the most ungainly dismount of all time by leaving the carbon fibre frame to crash horrifically to the ground. He clatters as best he can in his cycling shoes to the young constable about to ring the doorbell. From his forlorn expression, Brian can tell it's bad news. For 25 years he served in the police force, mostly as a station sergeant in Manchester. People think the worst part of the job is dealing with scroats, effing and jeffing, kicking over chairs and acting up. But that was nothing compared to the endless procession of grief. Sobbing mums, agonised dads, kids whose lives will never be the same again. Whole families destroyed by an officer waiting at your front door. Now it's his turn. "Mr. Webb?" the constable asks. Brian nods breathlessly, wiping his sweat with a lycra sleeve. "It's your wife. I'm sorry to say we've found her car. There's been an incident." The words arrive at his brain but make no sense. Something about Astrid's car? He glances around to where her black Clio usually sits unused. She doesn't leave the house much, and notices it's not there. Brian realises the constable said incident, not accident, and feels a chill deep in his gut. Oh my God, is she okay? "Her car's been found." "Where is she?" "I'm sorry, sir, we don't know yet." He gestures to the door. "Should we step inside?" "Was it a crash?" "Her family liaison officer is on their way. Why don't we put the kettle—"
"I don't want a bloody cup of tea. I want to find out what's happened to my wife."
The constable isn't sure what to do. He's been given a job and it's not going right. But Brian doesn't care. He stomps back to get his bike, noting with dismay the scratches along the frame, and shoves it inside. "Are you going to drive me?" he says. "Or do I have to find it on my own?" They head east out of the village. Soon they're flanked by fields, grazing cattle, dry stone walls, Pendle Hill rising in the distance. Why would Astrid even be coming this way? At a pinch she might nip to the shops, though that's unlikely, as she would have asked him to pick up what she needed on his ride. Even then she'd go to the spa in Northcote, not deep into farming country. Nothing about this makes sense, no matter which way he slices it. By the time they arrive at the police cordon, he's wrung his hands so hard his fingers feel like claws. He gets out and hurries the rest of the way on foot. Her car skidded off the side of the road, the front bumper thrust into a hedgerow. A white-suited forensics officer is in the front, leaning over the driver's seat to take a sample. Brian sees the splatter of red on the windscreen and wails. Blood. Astrid's blood. The constable tries to lead him back. "This is why we say—" Brian pulls away from him.
"Back off, I can handle it.
Who's the SIO here?" There's not much of a setup yet. No large-scale map of the area propped on a stand, no sergeant beside it drawing lines and doling out orders. In the distance is the steady throb of an approaching helicopter. "The senior investigating officer," Brian says, giving his best "Are you deaf or are you stupid?" glare. He may not have been on duty for a few years, but he still knows the right tone to put the fear into even the hardiest plod. "Hurry up, son. I've got some information about my wife that might help."